people that if you want to look at the real Africa, you should look at Africa before colonialism. All right, that you are going to see the real Africa right there. You are going to see all the glory and all the greatness of Africa, all the greatness of our ancestors. But Africa, after colonialism, that is the Africa that we have now, which is after colonialism, needs a change, needs freedom. All right. And the only people that can give this freedom and that can change Africa is every single person on earth that is of African descent, that has a genetics from the African continent, if you know what I mean. And why am I saying this? Because some people from the other groups used to tell me that you Africans, you have everything that you need, you have the natural resources, and why is it that things are still the way it is with you all, up to date? And you even hear some of them saying that, well, you guys are still talking about colonialism, you are still talking about slavery, but all these things has passed years ago. So why are you still bringing? Why have you not changed? And why are you still talking about things that have passed? But when they say these things, they fail to realize that, especially here in the continent, there are a lot of things, like 80% of the things that we have, that Africans are still relying on. Those are things that have been laid. The foundation of these things have been laid since from the time of colonialism. And these are the things that Africans right now, the African youths, are fighting to dismantle this foundation that have been laid since from the colonialism period. And still yet, we are still finding some agents in African countries who are trying to make sure that these things should not work, should not take place. Like, there was a video that I did on the channel that in the Democratic Republic of Congo, two American agents, which from their passports it shows that they were CIA agents, they were caught in a coup in the Congo, in a failed coup, you know. And the reason why people believe that they were, truly were American agents, it is because it was the military themselves. The video is on the channel. You can go check it out if you haven't seen the video. The military themselves, they were the ones that caught two of them. There were three of them from the news that we heard, but one of them was unalive during the crossfire that took place at the time. So Africans are trying to dismantle this foundation that has been built since from the era of colonialism. Now, another thing, I'll give you an example, like the educational system that we have in Africa. All right, the educational system we have in Africa is still the same educational system that was installed years ago during the colonialism era. It is still the educational system that is being used in Africa to date. And with this educational system, that is number one big problem that Africans need to understand, that the educational system that we are using now, it is a problem. All right. And why am I saying it is a problem? Now, to those of you who maybe you have traveled abroad, you have been to the US, and this also, if to our brothers that are listening to me right now that are in America, I want you all to know this. If you don't know what is happening in terms of educational system, then you must know this. Educational system here in Africa, let me just say, if you study medicine here in Africa and you happen to travel abroad to maybe look for a job, with that certificate, when you get to abroad, any Western country, and they look at your qualifications, your certificates, and it still shows that, maybe it shows that you are from an African country, you got these qualifications from an African country, they are not going to accept it. They are still they will tell you to start back from square one. All right, they will tell you to start back from square one before you can have the chance to get the job. So why is it like this? Is it not the same educational system that was, because the educational system that Africans are using, it has nothing to do with Africans. Africans were not the one that originally built this foundation of education in Africa. This education was built during the colonial period. And the same people that put this educational system, when you go to their countries, they don't accept this educational system because of what they know, what they have done, and they know that the kind of educational system that it is in Africa, it is not up to the standards that they have there. All right. And so you all get my point. The educational system that has been employed, that has been built in Africa, needs to be a change. All right. And if we are looking forward to transform Africa, if we are looking forward to change Africa, we need to start from our educational system, what we teach our children in school, be it from the mathematical aspect, be it from, you know, anything that concerns education. There needs to be a change. And that is also some of the reason why I'm telling our brothers and sisters in the diaspora that when you all come to the motherland, and maybe you are trying to open up schools, you're trying to, I know that there are some syllables here that has been implemented, and you cannot just come and change all these syllables. No. But if you are coming to the motherland and you want to open up schools, then you need to make sure that the educational system that is going to be implemented in these schools, in your school in Africa, it needs to be from that side. You know what I mean? You need to come and teach your people about the solid educational system that is being used from where you are. Because if you just still come and open up schools and you are just still based on the educational system that is in Africa, then nothing is going to change. All right, nothing is going to change. So that is the number one big problem that Africa is facing: educational system. And we need to bring more effort in order to transform Africa. It doesn't matter where you are located in the world. Maybe you are in Africa, you are out of Africa. In as much as you have the African DNA in you and the African blood in you, then we need to change Africa together. So that's just the message that I said, let me pass across today on the live stream. So I'll be seeing you all on my next live stream.